It is not uncommon for people to spend their whole life waiting to start living. Eckhart Tolle wrote that one sentence, and it probably just described the last 5 years of your life. That is what the power of now does. It holds up a mirror, and what you see in it is uncomfortable. This book has sold over 10 million copies not because it offers a clever system or a morning routine. It offers something rarer. The argument that the peace you have been chasing is not ahead of you. It is here, right now. These are the 5 most important lessons from the book and why each one matters. Lesson 1. You are not your mind. And the moment you realize that, everything changes. Tolle opens the book by describing the night his life cracked open. He was 29, crippled by depression, and he woke in the early hours consumed by a terror so total he felt he could not go on. Then a strange thing happened. He caught himself thinking, I cannot live with myself. And he stopped. If I cannot live with myself, there must be 2 of me. There must be the I, and there must be the self I cannot live with. In that gap between the observer and the observed, something dissolved. He spent the next several hours in complete stillness, not because his problems were gone, because for the first time, he saw that the voice in his head was not him. This matters because most people have never made that distinction. When the mind says you are behind, failing, not enough, you take that as fact. But those thoughts are weather passing through. The moment you realize you are not present, you are present. Whenever you are able to observe your mind, you are no longer trapped in it. That is the whole game. The sentence to carry, I am the one watching my thoughts, not the one trapped inside them. Lesson 2. The present moment is the only place your life is actually happening, and most of us are never really there. Tolle describes meeting a woman drowning in distress, problems with family, money fears, dread about the future. He stopped her and asked a single question. Do you have a problem right now, in this exact moment, as we sit here? Not tomorrow, not next week. Right now. She paused. She looked around. She said quietly, no. Right now there is no problem. Nothing in her circumstances had changed. But she had stepped out of the story her mind was narrating and landed briefly in the actual moment she was living in. Tolle's argument is that most of us are almost never there, lost in the past, replaying and regretting, or in the future, planning and dreading. This matters because the life you are waiting to live is this one, not the cleaner, calmer, more sorted version. This one, right now. The sentence to carry, right now, in this actual moment, I am okay. Lesson 3. Pain is real, but suffering is largely self-created, and you have more power over it than you know. Tolle introduces what he calls the pain body, an accumulation of old emotional hurt that lives in the body, the residue of every loss and disappointment never fully felt and released. He tells the story of a woman who would erupt at her partner over small things, a dish left out, a comment taken wrong, and then feel bewildered afterward, because her reaction never matched the trigger. What Tolle helped her see was that she was not reacting to the dish. She was reacting from a deep well of old pain that had nothing to do with her partner. The present moment was just the match. The pain body was the fuel. The greater part of human pain is unnecessary. It is self-created as long as the unobserved mind runs your life. This matters because so many of us are walking around with pain that has been running our decisions for years. The way out, Tolle says, is not to analyze or explain it. It is to feel it fully, consciously, without adding a story to it. Just sensation, just energy moving through. The sentence to carry. I can feel this without becoming it. Lesson 4. Most of what we call worry is the mind suffering through a future that does not exist yet. Tolle shares a conversation with a man whose mind simply would not stop. Successful by any external measure, but perpetually scanning for danger, rehearsing disasters, living in projected catastrophes that had not happened. Tolle asked him, "Of all the scenarios your mind has rehearsed over the years, how many unfolded exactly the way you feared?" The man thought about it. Almost none. Then how much of your life did you spend suffering through those imagined versions that never came? The man went quiet. Stress is caused by being here, but wanting to be there, being in the present, but wanting to be in the future. The mind rehearses worst cases because it believes preparation equals protection. What it actually does is make you live through the worst version of your life in advance. This matters because your nervous system cannot distinguish between an imagined threat and a real one. It responds to both the same way, which means you are spending real physical and emotional energy on suffering that exists only in your head. The sentence to carry: I do not have to live in a future that does not exist yet. Lesson 5. True peace is not found by solving your problems. It is found by changing your relationship to this moment. Tolle tells the story of a Zen student who came to his master exhausted. He had practiced for years and still did not feel peaceful. His life was still chaotic, still noisy, still full of unresolved things. He asked, "When will I finally be free?" The master's answer was the kind that stops you. You are waiting for your outer life to become peaceful before you allow yourself to feel inner peace. But it works the other way around. You bring peace to your circumstances. They do not bring it to you. If you get the inside right, the outside will fall into place. This matters because you are probably waiting for things to calm down, for the uncertainty to lift, for the to-do list to finally clear. That waiting is the very thing keeping you from what you are looking for. The peace is not on the other side of the problem. It is available right now, in the middle of it, the moment you stop resisting this moment and start inhabiting it. The sentence to carry: peace is not something I find. It is something I choose, right here, right now. Here's what most people misread about this book. They think Tolle is telling them to stop caring, stop planning, stop wanting things to be different. That is not it. What he is actually saying is that most of us are so entangled in the story our minds are telling about our lives that we are missing the experience of being alive itself. The mind is a tool, a brilliant one. The problem is that most of us have confused the tool for the person holding it. Put it down long enough to notice who is actually here, and the whole thing changes.